This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, hi guys. I hope you can see my screen. So let's continue our discussion in SQOOP. Suppose let us say that I wanted to import all the tables in a database by using SQOOP. Let us see how to do that. So we have totally 8 tables right now within retail database. I wanted to import everything into my HDFS by using SQOOP. Let's see the steps. So I'm going to use SQOOP import all tables. So we have import all tables also available, similar to import. Then we have to mention the usual details such as the connect string jdbc colon mysql colon slash slash localhost colon 3306, database name is retaildb, and then the username is root, then the password is cloudera. So because we are trying to import all tables, we don't need to mention any specific table information. We can directly mention the target directory, let's say user cloudera, and I wanted to import all tables, hence I can say retail DB all tables. Let's copy this, go to the SQOOP terminal, right click and paste it. Enter. This will fail because remember, whenever you are trying to import all tables, we cannot use target directory, and that's where you can see unrecognized argument target directory. If you are trying to import all tables, you have to use only warehouse directory. So I'm going to replace target directory with warehouse directory. This time it should work fine. Copy this, go back here and then paste it. As we are trying to import all tables, it will take a bit of time. So we'll wait for some time. So guys, you can see that it's failing all of a sudden, right? So it is expected to import all tables, but it is failing in the middle. We will try to understand the reason behind it. Let us scroll up. So this is the place where I ran the query, right? And then first you can see here it is trying to import the categories table, right? Have a look here. It is trying to import the categories table, and then as the categories table have the primary key, it all went smooth. It followed the regular process and it imported the categories table. So after the categories table, it started importing the customers table. So customers table also do have the primary key, hence the import process is smooth. It imported the customers table as well. right? But now the problem is the next one is customers no PK. This table doesn't have primary key. And because this table doesn't have any primary key, the import operation is failing, right? This doesn't have any primary key, hence that's the reason behind this failure. And the problem here is it is not only failing the import, it is actually affecting all the other tables which do have the primary key. Because if you can see here, departments, orders, order items, all these tables have got the primary key, and they are also being affected because of one table which doesn't have any primary key, right? So how to solve this specific problem? So this is where I'm going to use something called as auto reset to one mapper that we have already learned. So let me go ahead and get the help on it. Scoop help, import all tables, grep for reset. So if you use this, it will automatically use one mapper if the table doesn't have primary key. It is like if else condition. If the table doesn't have primary key, it will use one mapper. Otherwise, it will use regularly the four mappers and it will use bounding wells query, the regular process. Also, another thing here is I have already imported categories and customers. I don't want to import them once again. I wanted to skip them to being imported again. That's where I'm going to use another option called as exclude. Just grep for exclude. And this is what I'm going to use exclude tables. And then the tables. This will tables to exclude when importing all. So I'm going to use this option. And then I'm going to exclude categories and customers because I have already imported them. Categories, then customers. So let's copy this and go to the scoop terminal, clear the screen, right click and paste it. So this will take approximately 4 to 5 minutes. We will wait. So all the import is done. So let's have a look at the output. So we'll go one by one and try to understand. I was not talking for a while because it was importing. So I'm scrolling up now. So this is the place where we were trying to run the import operation. Now have a look here. We have included two important options. One is auto reset to one mapper so that it works like an if else condition. If the table doesn't have any primary key, it will use one mapper. If the table have primary key, it will use four mappers. Then I'm trying to exclude categories and customers because I don't need them again because I have already imported. Hence, because I have mentioned exclude tables, it's not importing those two again. It's skipping categories and then customers. Then comes the next table, which is nothing but customers no pick. So this table doesn't have any primary key. Hence, auto reset to one mapper comes into the picture. It will just use only one mapper to perform all the import operation. And coming to the next table, what is the next table? So the next table is nothing but the departments table. So departments table do have the primary key. Because it do have the primary key, hence it will just use four mappers automatically as usual. You can see number of splits is used as 4 and bounding wall square, all that, the regular process. Then it's going to import the next table. What's the next table in the list? It's nothing but order items. Again, order items do have the primary key. It will follow the regular process again. It will use number of mappers as 4 and bounding wall square and all that, the regular process. And once order items is imported, then comes the next table. So the next table is orders. Again, orders do have the primary key. It will use bounding walls, queries, splits, as it will use four mappers and all that, and it will try to import the orders table. Then once the orders is imported, we have the next table. The next table is orders no pk, which is not having the primary key. This is where auto reset to one mapper comes into the picture, and it will just use only one mapper. Right? If I can scroll down, if I can scroll little up here, you can see, you just see only number of splits as one, no bounding wall square, nothing. So then once the import of auto snow pk is done, then we have the next table, which nothing but products. So products table do have the primary key, hence it will start importing the data by using the bounding wall query, split size and all that, right? And then the import operation is done successfully. Now let's go ahead and check the HDFS location. So we have all the data stored in user Cloudera path. Let's go here, copy this and try to say HDFS plus DFS hyphen ls and give that path. So to see the output clearly, I wanted to zoom out, click on view and zoom out twice. Run it again. So have a look here. For each and every table, we have a dedicated directory because we are using warehouse directory, right? And also have a look at the time difference between these. Categories and customers have the time stamp as 1940, 1941. But whereas the remaining tables have got the timestamp as 1945, 46, 47, 48. Because we have skipped importing categories and customers because we have already done it. Hence, you can see the difference in the timestamps. Right? Also, the best way to see the output here is ls with hyphen r option. You have to use ls with capital R. If you use smaller, it doesn't work. Try with capital R. Now have a look at the output. It's going to recursively list your content. Categories and customers do have the primary key. You can see 4 output files. And customers no pk have just only one mapper. So basically it doesn't have any primary key, hence it is using just one mapper to do all the import operation. Then you can see that it's trying to do departments and orders and then order items. All these have got the primary key, hence it's showing 4 files for you. Orders notification doesn't have any primary key, hence it is not showing anything for you. I mean, it's just showing only one file for you. And then we have the products. Products is showing 4 because this two have the primary key. So that's how we can perform the import operation, importing all tables. Now, let's see how to import the data into Hive. So basically, we are going to build a small project now where we wanted to import the data from MySQL into Hive. So I'm going to open a new terminal. Terminal set title. I'm going to launch Hive here. Show databases. So let's say that I want to create a new database. Create database. If not exist, the database name is test. And I wanted to see the list of all the databases. I would like to switch to the test database. Use space test. Show tables. I don't have any tables right now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you Hive import. Now when I say Hive import, we are going to import the data from MySQL into Hive using SQOOP. Let me repeat that again. I'm going to import the data from MySQL into Hive by using SQOOP. So suppose let's say I wanted to import orders table from MySQL into Hive. Let's see how to do that. So I'm going to build my query again. This will be SQOOP import. Connect string username password remains as it is. Mention the table name hyphen table orders. And here comes the change. You have to mention hyphen Hive import because you are trying to import into Hive. And here you have to mention the database name also because you may have multiple databases within Hive. We have to mention the database into which you wanted to import the data into. And then I'm going to mention hyphen Hive table. And I wanted to mention the table name as Hive underscore orders. Now what will happen if I don't mention this last parameters such as hyphen Hive table? Will it fail the import? It won't fail the import, but it may lead to some confusion. It will create the same table name as such as orders in your Hive also. That may lead to some confusion. To avoid all that confusion, what I would like to do is I wanted to prefix the table name with underscore Hive underscore that table name so that it's very clear that it's going to create a table in Hive with that name. Okay. So before running this query, observe here I'm in Hive. I don't have any tables in the test database. Now this should create a table for me with the name called as Hive underscore orders. Copy this, go to the SQOOP terminal, increase the font, click on view and zoom in, right click and paste it. Enter. So now the import operation is done. So generally, when we were importing the data to HDFS, this used to be the last line saying it will say retrieved the count of the records. But now here we're trying to import the data into Hive directly. That's where you see all these extra lines. And also notice here it's saying loading data to the table test.hive orders. Here the database name is test and it should have created a table with the name called as hive underscore orders. Let's confirm the same. I didn't have any tables here within test database before running that import. Now if I check, I have the table called as hive underscore orders. Let us check the content. Select star from hive underscore orders, limit 10, and I can see the data. So that's how you can import the data into Hive from MySQL by using SQOOP. Suppose let's say I wanted to import another table. Let's say I would like to import order items this time. And you can even change the number of mappers also in the process overall. Let's copy this, paste it. The table name is order underscore items. Let me rename this table name also order underscore items here, hive underscore orders underscore item. And here you can mention the number of mappers as well. Let's say hyphen f num mappers as 2. Let's copy this. And before running this, observe here, I just have only one table called as hive underscore orders. You should see one more getting created. Just a minute. Some problem. Okay. There is some issue. 1 minute. Okay. I think there is some problem going on here. 1 minute. Okay, let's build the query again. I lost the query here. I have to retype it again. Order items is the table name. Hive underscore order underscore items is the destination table name. Hyphen num mappers, set it as 2. Just copy this. Go to the SQOOP terminal. Something is wrong. 1 minute. As there is something wrong, maybe I have to stop and start my Cloud Quick Start VM. Let me do that quickly. Sorry about the inconvenience. I'm going to restart it again. It will take some time. Let's wait. I'm waiting for it to start completely. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. It should be done. Hey guys, sorry for the interruption. So let me open all the required terminals. Okay, I lost everything, but I'll rebuild again, no problem. Open in terminal, launch Hive, terminal, set title, give it as Hive, click on view and click on zoom in twice. Open another terminal. Let's say I would like to use this for SQOOP. Click on view and zoom in twice. And I'll open another terminal and I'll say terminal set title, give it as MySQL. Click on view and zoom in twice. So let's see the list of all the databases in Hive. I would like to switch to the test database. Show tables. I just have only one table. So let's do one thing. Let's try to import the order items table also. So scoop import -- connect string jdbc colon mysql colon / localhost 3306 retail db. Mention the username. Username is root. Mention the password. Password is Cloudera. And then mention -- table. The table name is order items. Then your uh, Hive import, because we are trying to import into Hive Hive database. We have to mention the database into which we are trying to import the data into Hive table. So we are just mentioning which table name should be there. So it should be Hive order items and then num mappers, let's say 2. Let's copy this, go to the scoop terminal, right click and paste it. So meanwhile, let's connect to MySQL. So MySQL space -u root -p Cloudera show databases. So I would like to switch to the retail database, use space retail db show tables. Okay, so now let's go back to the scoop terminal. It's trying to import. So initially we had only one table. You should see another table getting created now shortly. Go to the scoop terminal just to verify. Now this is done. As I told earlier, if you're trying to import the data into HDFS, generally this should be the last line retrieved and it will give the count of the records. But now here we're trying to import the data into Hive. So that's where you will see this loading data to the table. Database name is test and the table name is Hive underscore order underscore items. If you can go back to Hive, you should see an extra table called as Hive order items created. Let's see the content over there. So select star from Hive underscore order underscore items. Sorry, I should be giving limit 10. Now it will display everything for you. Okay, that's fine. So we have the data available, right? So if I say limit 10, I can see the data. So now let's do simple data processing or data analysis by using Hive. Suppose let us say that I wanted to get the daily product revenue, right? To get the daily product revenue, if you describe both the tables, Hive orders. This table contains the date related column. So I will definitely use this column called as order date. But now, does the table have anything related to the pricing information? No, nothing. This is where I'm going to use order items. So I would use order item subtotal column from this so that I can calculate the revenue. But these two columns are in two different tables, right? So somehow we have to join these two. To join these two, we have to have a common column between both. That's where I'm going to use order ID column from orders and order ID column from order items to perform the join operation between these two. Okay, so let's try to build that query. So let's go back here. So before that, let's do one more thing. Let's try to create a table in Hive. So create table, let's say daily revenue, and it will have just only two columns, order date, which could be like a string, and let's say revenue, which is like float. Then you can say row format, delimited, fields, terminated by comma. Let's copy this. So here table spelling is wrong. Let me fix that. So copy this, go to the Hive terminal, right click and paste it. Show tables. I have this daily revenue table, but does it have any data? Select star from daily revenue. It doesn't have anything. Now our goal is to fill up this table with the appropriate data. So now let's try to basically build the query here. Select. So we want two columns, right? One is order date column. I'm going to mention the same. The other one is revenue. So you will get the revenue column by applying the aggregate operation called as sum on top of order item subtotal column. That's what I mentioned. And let me also rename this by saying as revenue. So I have to mention the table names from Hive orders. We can even give an alias by saying O. O is nothing but orders. Join it with Hive order items. Let's give an alias saying OI. OI is nothing but order items. Joined on O dot order ID column from orders and order item order ID column from order items, right? And then because we have to calculate the revenue on daily basis, hence I'm going to group it based on order date column. Let's do limit 10 so that we can see the sample data. If it is looking good, then we can start loading the data into daily revenue table. Let's copy this and paste it in the Hive terminal. Enter. So we can see the sample data, right? You can have a look here. It's saying on 25th of July 2013, the revenue that was generated was $68,153 and so on, right? So that's how you can interpret the output as. Now we'll do one thing. We'll start inserting the data into the daily revenue table. Insert into daily revenue. Right? Let's try this option. I'll remove limit 10 and let's copy this and go to the Hive terminal and paste it here. Enter. Okay, this is done. Now let's actually verify the data. Select star from daily revenue. Let's say limit 10. Now we can see that we are able to process the data or analyze the data by Hive, and we are able to load the data into daily revenue table. Now let's do one more thing. Let's try to export this data. We will try to export this data into MySQL by using SQOOP. Let me repeat that. Let us try to perform a SQOOP export operation so that this process data is exported back onto the MySQL database. So let's see how to do that. So the first step is go to the MySQL and you have to create your target table, which is nothing but daily revenue table. So create table. Just to avoid any confusion, I'm going to prefix this with MySQL daily revenue, and then as usually this will also have two columns: order date, which could be like varchar of 30, and this will be my primary key, and then I'll have the second column such as revenue, which is nothing but float type. Show tables. Now we have this table called as MySQL daily revenue table. Select star from MySQL daily revenue. So there is nothing right now. Now we will try to perform an export operation by using SQOOP export. So let's build the query again. So this time it's going to be export, hence I'm going to change it to export. SQOOP export connecting username password. So here you have to mention that export directory. This is interesting because we will have to mention from which directory we have to perform the export operation. If you remember, I told that whenever you create a table in Hive, the actual data is stored in HDFS, right? If you describe this table, describe formatted daily revenue, you can see that we have the actual data stored in this HDFS location. Let's copy this path, select it, right click copy, say DFS space -ls, right click and paste it. So this is where my actual data is stored, and this is what is required for me. Right click, copy this path, then paste it. And now here you have to mention your table into which we wanted to export the data into. So here my table into which I want to export the data into is nothing but MySQL daily revenue. Let me copy this name and let's paste it. Let's copy this query. This is a SQOOP command, so go to the SQOOP terminal, right click and paste it. Enter. So now you can see that it's saying exported 364 records, right? Now, why exactly 364 records? Because in daily revenue table, we had exactly 364 records. Now, how come it is getting exactly 364 records? Because it depends on the number of unique records in your data. Because remember, whenever you do grouping operation, always the number of final records will be equal to the number of unique values on this grouped column. Just to show you what I'm talking, I'm going to say select count of distinct order date. from daily revenue. Let's get this count, copy this and go to the Hive terminal and paste it here. So basically I'm trying to figure out the number of unique order dates in my daily revenue table. So always remember whenever you do grouping, the number of final records will be equal to the number of unique values in the grouped column. Here in this case it is order date column. Have a look here, it's showing us 364. There are totally 364 unique records. Hence, when you export it, it is showing 364 records. Even if you go and check here, you should see 364 records being exported here. Have a look here, the counts are matching everywhere. In Hive, in SQOOP, in MySQL. So you can see the sample data now by saying limit 10. Have a look here. We have a couple of columns, order date and then revenue. So this is how we can build the projects by integrating multiple components. So today we have seen how to integrate different components such as HDFS, Hive, SQOOP, MySQL, etc. Right? I hope you liked it, and I'm going to upload this recording. So please practice today's session. This is very important one. Okay. So I think that's all I wanted to cover in today's session, guys. Any questions anybody have? Let me know. Otherwise, we are good to meet on Monday. Any questions so far? Okay, I'll take
No,
it as no. Then
thank you.
we'll again, yeah, we'll again meet on Monday. See you. Bye.